Welcome to A Stride Above podcast, where our commitment to excellence in equine health and athletic performance unites us. Join your host, Dr. Alberto Rullan, as we trot through the essential topics that matter most to you and your equine family members. With over 15 years of experience in equine sports medicine and rehabilitation, Dr. Rullan is dedicated to navigating you through the latest innovations and essential insights in horse health. Together, we'll ensure that you and your horses always remain a stride above the rest.
In this episode, I want to talk about one of my favorite subjects, but also one of my least favorite subjects at the same time. And that's kind of strange, right? But I really want to talk about this. And I want to talk about laminitis, which as a veterinarian, as an owner, as a trainer, as a horse, we all hate that disease. It's just a tough disease. We have all been hit by such a disease one way or the other. Either we have had one of our horses suffer from it, or we have had a friend, a client, someone that has gone through this process. And there was this beautiful horse, fantastic horse that belongs to a veterinarian friend of ours, and his name was Stuart. Stuart is just a beautiful, big, strong horse, and unfortunately, he developed symptoms of laminitis. What was happening is very typical that what happened to any horse, and this is proof that anyone can be affected by this. All of a sudden, out of the same diet, without changing anything, the horse started getting heavier and started developing signs of fat deposition in the neck, fat deposition in the tail, even though he was not eating that much. And that prompted, obviously, the owner, the farrier, the team to think that this horse was suffering from what we call insulin resistance. Some people call it metabolic syndrome. Some people call it insulin resistance. It continues changing names and evolving. By the time you watch this video, it probably has another name. But the essence is that Stuart was a fantastic, healthy horse. And then all of a sudden, overnight, started getting heavier, and heavier. And very quickly, the owner noted that he was just not walking right. He was starting to lean back, releasing pressure from the feet, and being very uncomfortable. And very quickly, his farrier came, and obviously the diagnosis was presumptive diagnosis of laminitis. The radiographs were taken by the veterinarian, and sure enough, it was confirmed that he had laminitis. Horrible disease. Because what's happening, as we know, is that the feet literally start separating from the bone. If you can imagine your nail starting to slowly rip apart from your finger, and then having to walk on that nail, because remember, horses walk on one finger. So ripping apart the nail and walking on it. You can imagine how painful this disease is. So due to the severity of this disease, the owner contacted me and said, hey, what can we do to save this horse? What can we do? And we implemented a multi-modal approach. What do I mean by multi-modal? We did equine hyperbaric oxygen chamber. We did therapeutic shoeing by her farrier and veterinarian. We did holistic medicine as well. Yes. So, of course, diet control was utmost. The diet control is probably the most important thing, but it's one of the most difficult things to do, because we all want to see our horses healthy, big, strong. But with this disease, we have to figure out how to lose a couple pounds, how to relieve the pressure from those feet. Because if you think about it, if you're walking in one nail, two nails, or four nails, two in the front, two in the back, do you want to be overweight or underweight? Right? It makes sense to actually start losing some weight. Very difficult to do because these horses, we all say, oh, they get fat on air, literally. They drink water and they gain weight. That's usually what I hear. Or I only feed them a little cup, or I barely feed them. And that's typically what it is. Almost some clients tell me, this is abuse. Not feeding my horse is abuse. So I don't ask them not to feed them. I ask them to feed them the correct thing, and much less, and throughout the day. And that's how we start decreasing some big insulin spikes. And that's how we try to keep everything level. So when we did all that in Stuart, we did the hyperbaric chamber. Why did we do the hyperbaric chamber? Many reasons. One, it increases the oxygen, of course, right? All throughout the tissues by 600%. Imagine a therapy that increases oxygen 600% in the blood. On top of that, it's proven to increase stem cells movement inside the body. So there's more stem cells coming out of the bone marrow, which is where the stem cells are made. And by doing that, improve the immune system, right? Then we have the anti-inflammatories, because laminitis is an inflammatory process. So, and then we have the therapeutic chewing, very important. Therapeutic chewing is so important because what it does is correcting the mechanics. The horse needs to feel comfortable. And not just that, the horse, the feet, needs to be shod in such a way that it promotes further normal hoof growth. With all that, in addition, we also recommend sometimes acupuncture, chiropractic work, massages, everything that can be done to help the rest of the body, because the horse puts so much weight in the hind legs, so much weight in the back, that it actually affects the rest of the body. In addition to that, the horse should have good mental stimulation, because these horses get actually depressed. If it just gets depressed, think about being in a stall without moving for months and months. It's quite depressing. So mental stimulation, a little bit of walking if they can, a little bit of entertainment, that's actually quite important as well. So we put all this together with our friend Stuart, and he started to come back. He started to recover. Then he started to walking better, and continue to improve because of the dedication of everyone involved in this treatment. I mean, no one missed a beat on Stuart. The proper diet, the proper treatment, everything on schedule. Of course, it helps that the owner is a veterinarian, so she actually has an understanding of how important it is. So after he went out of the clinic, out of Epic to their house, they continue the treatment at home religiously by the book. And now we all see how Stuart has recovered, how he's doing great, and he's just having a very comfortable life. Back in the days, this disease used to be the kiss of death. We couldn't get many years out of it. It was so much trouble. So I get a question: what was so different? What was so different about Stuart versus other cases that have failed? The first thing, early detection and aggressive treatment. So many other horses get early detection, but then we play the game. Let's wait and see. Let's wait and see if it gets worse. Let's wait and see if it actually causes a problem, and that is too late. That's when it becomes too late. Yesterday, for example, I received a horse that the referring veterinarian, he saw her lame for the first time. This is a reproduction vet. He goes and palpates this horse to get embryos out of. He noticed that the horse wasn't walking straight. Quickly called the owner. The horse had rotated only 1 to 2 degrees. Took it to the clinic, started the same aggressive treatment that we're talking about Stuart. 2 or 3 days, she's starting to walk more comfortable. And because we now have this process We expect this horse to live here in 2 to 3 months, actually walking quite good. So my point is that early detection is important, but early actions is even more important. Early actions, not to play the game of wait and see what happens. I hope that you can share this video with anybody that has a problem with laminitis, or everyone that is starting to see a problem with laminitis, because that's when we can help the most. So if you have any questions, please do not forget to give us a call or get in contact with your veterinarian so that there's early detection and early treatments, and do as many modalities as possible. I hope you learned something today about laminitis, and I hope we learn from Stuart's story and we can take this and help so many other horses. Yes, I understand, not all of them are going to be saved, but we don't know if we don't try.